tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Welcome to a special edition of the Daily Trudge. I might be confusing you with all the different stuff that I do, so that's why I'm here. So to explain it kind of quickly, Trudging Together is the parent company, and then I have different things that Trudging Together does. Some of those things are free. Most of the things are free. But hi Michelle, hi Angel. All my regular followers are here, and thank you everybody. Thank you for sharing my stuff. Thank you for being supportive. I've been working on this concept for a while, and I've let out little bits and pieces of it, but it isn't so much that I was trying to hide it. You can't see me. Well, I hope my camera's on. Try leaving and come back, Michelle. See if that works for you. So I've spent the last, and what I was saying is I wasn't hiding it. It just, until things were done, there was no point in really talking about it. And, but what we have is we have Trudging Together, and then things are kind of based off that. The podcast, which is Raw Recovery. Right? And that's where I do interviews. That's where I interview other people. They tell their stories. Some are, it's a variety of people on there. I have over 100 of those. I have over 450 videos on Podbean, but that ain't nothing. That's nothing. Let's see here. What am I at on here? 2,982 videos since September 29th, 2019. So I have a lot of videos. It worked for you awesome, Michelle. Right. Now what I'm doing here, this is a live. Okay. I go live, when I'm doing the podcast, I'm not really the speaker. Somebody else is. Sometimes I'll have somebody on here with me. Tyler joins me every other week. I had some people that were doing it weekly with me, things like that, which was kind of cool. It's hard to stay consistent with this. And the Daily Trudge, to me, is not a podcast. It's my live. But I do turn it into a podcast because people like listening to this various ways. Some people like YouTube. A lot of people like to put my stuff on while they're traveling, right? If I go to here, I'll kind of show you something. This will give you an idea of kind of what I take a look at and what I see. This is kind of how my stuff goes, right? So these are stats for my Podbean. Now, this encompasses the world. You can see United States is my number one. But then take a look. What's next? Australia is. Okay. Now, if I go to United States here, right, it's going to give me the different places. California is my number one listener. Where's Colorado here? Way down here. Colorado is not even in the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11th. Aha. Look at that. All right. So I'm pretty much representing a lot of the states here, which is pretty cool. That's cool. But when you start to look at things, right, like Australia, according to this, New South Wales loves my stuff. They like me in Australia, right? What are we doing in the UK here? 115 unknown. We have no idea what that is. I'm pretty sure it's Ireland. Sweden doesn't realize that. Germany kind of likes me, right? So, but look at all these different places that I end up, right? So we've kind of taken a look at that. I do have other stats, but that gives you an idea of where I'm listened to. Gives me an idea. Now that's just the pod being. If I was to go to my Facebook, right, it's actually it's a lot bigger. But the problem is, since nobody really replies, I don't know, you know, what's a good thing here. Let's show you Instagram. This would be a much better. This is a much better idea. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Make sure it's the right one, because I have two of them open, because I have four shorts that I put out, right? So I make this video, like this one right here was earlier today. This is the one I did this morning. And these are just clips, 8, 11, 64, 10. Okay. Yesterday, 117, 128, 119, 117. Now, that means that somebody watched it for more than 2 seconds. So they could have watched it for 4 seconds and then just gone. So the lower numbers here, let's find a lower number. It's good that I have to scroll down. Like this one right here, this one with 46, right? Clearly, people weren't really clicking on that one. But the ones that have the bigger numbers, they probably watched it for longer, right? All right. So that's a lot of stuff that I do. And since I've been doing podcasts and going live for years, I have a rhythm down. When I go live, there's a certain set of things that I use. The descriptions, things like that here. I'll kind of show you. Where is it? Here we go. This is what I use. Now, what I did, you can see right here. Here's the one. No, that was Let's Be Complacent. Doesn't matter. Oh, I put in here daily trade. See, it gave me everything it needed to. And then it put my YouTube, my Substack, and to book a 15-minute call. And then it kind of it usually tends to give me an outline. This one, it did not do it on this one. But a lot of times it gives me a breakdown on how I can talk about this. This, I'll give you a little hint at. Look at this right here. This is what I did. I took my transcript the other day. I did an instant versus delayed gratification, and I made a workbook out of it. See? Now I have a workbook that went right along with what the live was. Okay. Now, all of this is what we call a funnel. I've been creating funnels for the last couple of months to get people to come down, right, to one area, and that is to do what? Either watch the podcast. It's to get them to the website, okay, to book a 15-minute consultation to see if we're a good fit, maybe move forward, okay? Now, what is a Trudge Mentor? Why did I come up with that? Because I don't want to be known as a sober coach. I don't want to be a peer support specialist. I don't want to be a recovery coach. I want to be clear to people, very, 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 very clear. This is not a professional site. We are not professionals. We're not. But what we will have, there will be some people, like there was a friend that commented, Lori, she'd be a great fit. Now, the goal isn't to set this up so Dion can get clients. That's not the end goal. No, I'm creating a community. I'm creating a community for us because I see some things going on. And I'm not going to lose the basis of our recoveries, man. It's not going to happen. Okay. So I know a lot of people that are very, very good at helping other people out. So why not use it? Why not use it? Eventually, hopefully this is, if this could be the end result, it would be awesome. We all kind of pitch in to make sure everything happens, and then we can all pay our bills. Kind of, it's a weird concept. It's going to be hard for people to understand. All right, but in the beginning, just straightforward, simple one-on-ones, peer coaching. I'm working on a 6-week course for people. Okay, 6-week course. Now, that means this person is going to come to you for 6 weeks. Okay. And that will be a cost. We're not going to be taking insurance. Okay. Insurance gets too willy-nilly. There's requirements. Okay. No government money. I won't know. Unless that government money says, unless it's a government grant that is about talking about spirituality, then we'll be okay. Who knows? We might get into that. Okay. There's going to be another thing, because not everybody's going to be able to afford what we do, right? Well, they do scholarships all the time for sober livings and these other things. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise money as a team. That money will go into that. And then people that say, because it's going to be $60 for each session. Well, Dion, I can only afford 40 per session. Okay, well, we'll just take the other $20 out of that. There we go. Now, because the person still needs to get paid, and $40 ain't enough, right? It's not going to quite get, and I don't even know if that number is quite there yet. I'm not stuck on 60. Okay. That's just the number that I found for me. So now I've got to test the system. I've got to go through. But what are we doing? All right. I'm a little nervous because it's hard to describe. The best way to put it is this. The people that will be working at Trudge Mentor, and I'm not even quite big on the name, but it sticks with the trudge, right? Right. And then the slogan is, has everybody seen the new one? I like this one. I like this one. Where did I put it? And then we'll share it real quick. Open. All right. Oh, it's a window. That's why. Okay. There. Hey, there it is. Trudge Mentor, because no one trudges alone. All right. I really like that one. Michelle says, is the fee for 6 weeks? No. 6 times 60, it'd be $360 for the whole thing for the 6 weeks. Okay. Now it's a 6-week thing. Well, if the person can afford $120 a month, then we'll meet twice a month. It'll take a little bit longer for you to get through, but that's okay too. It doesn't have to be done in the 6 weeks. All right. The whole point is to help other people while making it affordable so that we can pay our own bills. That's really what it comes down to, right? So eventually what's going to happen is we'll have different types of peer coaches. And my job when you come in is you're going to talk to me. I will be your 15-minute, and I'm going to help you pick, hey, okay, now I've got these different peer coaches, and I think this one might be a good fit for you. I think this person right here would be a good fit for you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is where I excel. Ask anybody who I have matched with a sponsee. Ask anybody that I've done that with. And they will tell you, oh, yeah. And they get along great. I can say that because one of them's here. As you wait, one day I'll match you up with somebody. You're like, wow, dear. And this isn't a matchmaking service. But online, a lot of places, what you do is you fill out a form and then it says, okay, we've got all these people right here. Which one would you like? That's what Overcomers Counseling does. And it works really, really well, because then what happens is you're giving the person choice. And when you give an alcoholic choice, with some direction and some accountability, they'll usually make the right choice. But if it's their choice, it becomes powerful, right? So what I get to do is then I get to talk to every single client that comes along and match them. And I know it'll be a good match. But here's the thing, my job would be to take care of the coaches. Then my job is to make sure you have what you need so that you can be successful with your client. And that's where I really excel. I'm great at coaching, but what I'm really good at is training coaches. And I'm also developing my own course for coaches, for mentors. Yeah. And then I'm going to do my own. I've looked at all the other trainings. I've talked to all the different people. I have some problems that I don't agree with, and it's an ethical, moral problem. We'll take CCAR, for example. They are probably the biggest trainers out there as far as recovery coaches go, right? Oh, hi, Amber. I'm glad you like this. Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that, Amber, because you're a little bit newer. So I appreciate that you want that I'm making it makes sense even to somebody who hasn't been around for a little bit. So thank you for that, Amber. You telling me that tells me a lot more than what you know. So, all right. So you can see how this can start to get bigger and bigger. Right. So what's going to happen? Well, then other places are going to, hey, Dion, we'd love to be a resource for you. A Trudge Mentor place, Trudging Together, we'd love to be one of your resources. We like the way that you do things. And then what does that become? Well, then we become a community. Okay? Because a peer person is really only as good as their resources or what the trainer has taught you. Let's get back to CCAR. Okay. CCAR, it's a good training. But I asked him, I said, okay, you're letting these trainers train, but my question is, what is the qualification of time that a person must have before they can become a recovery coach? And their answer was 0. And that's where I have a problem. That's where I have a problem. Okay. Now, as you're working with us, you can also work on getting other certifications that will qualify you and go towards your EDUs if you're with COPA or something like that. Now, that's a lot of stuff that you don't need to know about, right? Michelle says, so I could become a mentor or coach. Yes, Michelle, you could. Eventually, the key here is to take the people that go through our system and have them become coaches. That's kind of the point. If they want to. Not everybody's going to want to do that. It might be a one-off. It might be different things. Okay. Now there's more to this than you know. Okay. Because I mean, if you're newer, I'm going to have to teach you how to write a client note and a DAT note. These are different notes. Now we don't really need DAT notes. A DAT note means data assessment treatment. Okay. You don't really need that. You're not a therapist. You're not a counselor. So we don't really need to know that. Okay. But you do need to understand a client note. You would need to understand a client note. Angel says, my certificate will never expire. NIAP, I don't know. NIAP. I don't know what NIAP is. New York Alternative Police. I'm making shit up. Please let me know what that is. Amber says, I'd love to work towards this. Absolutely. All right. So that is the concept. That's the concept. Okay. But things are always bigger than they appear in the rear view mirror, right? Yeah. It's about matching the right person with the right. Oh, it's you laughing. Okay. Yeah. See, Angel says their certificate will never expire because it's a certificate. You want to be a recovery coach? You got a printer? That's all you need. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. So my job would be to be the support for the peer support. It's what I've been telling Aurora Mental Health and Adams County that I could do. They don't want to listen to it. In fact, I've decided I ain't saying a word to Aurora Mental Health. Actually, this is what I'm going to do next. Because, see, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been helping out my community. I haven't taken a dime. I haven't asked for anything. And now I'm going to. Now I'm going to. Hey, I've done all this work. I pat you on the back. I've sent you stuff. It's time for you to send your stuff my way now. And there's a lot of them. And that includes Aurora Mental Health, Adams County, and Community Reach Center, just right off the bat. Okay. Now, remember I was showing you those stats. Can you help somebody in Australia? Can you help somebody? Yes, you can. We don't take insurance. Now, obviously, I have to do a conversion from pounds or whatever they use in Australia to American dollars or whatever. We can make that conversion. I was in banking and did merchant services for years. It's actually pretty. There's a chart. You can do it pretty quick. Or I can set up the website where it's, see it. So see where we're going with that. But really what I want you to do is to work on your area, your community. All right. Let's say Michelle gets into this. She's in Texas. I want you to be working in Texas. Do you have anybody in Texas? Sure do. Now, this is all virtual. Right? None of this is face-to-face. Because if we go face-to-face, the amount of money it would take would mean we ain't doing it. In order to pull this off, it has to be online. Yeah. Otherwise, should we spend our money on nice brick and mortar places with a nice neon sign that says, welcome to the Trudge Mentor and a wishing pool in the middle, things like that? Or should we spend it on helping people? Right? Where do you work? Well, I work over at this place. I do that. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we could always use donations. We'll be able to do donations. Okay. And then those donations go towards people that can't afford our service. Yes. I wouldn't be able to afford our service. I can't. Nope. Fuck, I go to the food bank every now and again. I got it. It's my life, man. It's kind of how it works. Right? But see, we can be more than that. We can start digging into life skills. Right? I was just talking to a newcomer yesterday. Right? And he has he's like, yeah, oh, this is what he said. My wife and I are getting divorced, but not because of my drinking. It is because of some of my bills, her taxes get taken away. And I said, oh, it's child support, isn't it? It's child support, isn't it? He goes, yeah, it is. I said, you don't need to get divorced. What you need to do is go to your tax person, say you need to fill out an injured spouse form. They do not bring this up because they want their money. See, even the people. So if you have child support that you need to pay and you are married to a different person, they will take that person's money unless you fill out an injured spouse form. Now, I know this. I'm like, you don't need to go get divorced. See? Everyday answers, simple answers to complicated questions. All right. Now, I'm sure if I pull 4 or 5 of us together, there's not many problems we can't figure out. Help you get your license back. Be accountable. Yeah, I need to go do my taxes. I've never done this before. Okay, let's sit down and figure it out together. What does Google have to say? You know what? I have some other people around here. I could certainly, ask that. Now, what is this? What does this whole thing create? What does the whole thing create? Community. It is about community. Okay. Is it AA? No. No, it is not. Okay. Why? Because I'm not going to charge for my AA side. Right. I'm not going to charge for being but what does it do? It allows us to be as spiritual or as less spiritual as we need to be. It gives us the flexibility to actually help. Hey, Dion, we need a good resource and blah, blah, blah. I'll go find it. I'm very good at finding this stuff. I'm very good. For some reason, God just tends to put it. And then we can start working on community. Yeah. We'll be able to do things like have events. I can, if we want to have an event, I've already got 2 or 3 places that will give us the location for free. I could probably even convince Adams County to let us use their space for free. They're not going to charge. You don't charge me. You charge me in this community. That's kind of people don't like it. But it's because for the last 4 or 5 years, I've done everything out of the goodness of my heart. Because it was important, because it needed to be done. And now that culmination is starting to come together and it's starting to fit. So I'm going to need people joining me. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we could do, right? So right now it's a land of opportunity. Right? And I'm going to steal the best of the best so we can get what it is that we need. This is what I want. This is what I want. I want to be able to give you all the information that you need to be successful with whomever you're working with. That's what I would like to do. I just want to be the wise old man sitting behind a desk, doling out advice. Honestly, I do. I'm at that age where I want to give everything away. And I want to do that because then when I die, I continue to live on. And that's important to me. This may sound weird, but I still go by it. I don't want to be famous. I want to be infamous. That means that I did something and it continued even while I was gone. That's what it needs to do. And I have a few of them right now. Grassroots AA meeting. That thing will continue on without Dion if it needs to. And that is awesome. Why? Because it doesn't make me a boss. It makes me a leader. It makes me one of the crowd. I've spent a lot of years working on a lot of this stuff. So I got to sit down. If I was to play with numbers, the thing is even while I was drinking, I was helping people. I would still, get people sober. There are 3 or 4 people that I know of, and of course, they have a lot more time than me. They're all coming up on like 15, 20 years that I helped get clean and sober, even while I was drinking, because I knew where to send them. I wasn't able to do it myself, but even while I was drinking, I helped other people. Absolutely, I did. Yeah. And I still hear from them every night. Hey, Dion, I'm still clean. Still got this. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. And it was just about sending them to the right places. It was about sending them to the right places. Well, if I get to count that, then I've been doing this 35 years. If I don't, 25. Okay. So Amber says, what a great AA meeting. Well, Amber H, if you're both here, so I got to start saying Amber R and Amber H. Amber H says, what a great AA meeting. Will forever be a part of it. I'm glad to hear that. See, even that is working. This stuff works. Okay? But what we need is true leadership. That is what we're lacking. The people that are not lacking, there's plenty of us out there. Okay? But we're not the ones that are promoted. We're not the ones that are heard. We're not the ones that are making Instagram reels and trying to get you to do this and get you to do that. We've got to be clear. We got to be concise on what we are, who we are, and what we do. Transparency is number one, and everything is leadership by example. Yes, leadership by example. Then we can start doing online events. Then this person knows that person that knows this person that knows that. Oh, you know this person. Now we're beyond community. What we are is a family. But it is going to require a little bit of money in order to get it done. It doesn't need to be a lot. That it doesn't need to be. So it's actually at a point where I've got a couple people in mind, but I might be able to get a few investors, which is different from taking government money, by the way. But then I got to fill a bunch of paperwork out. I don't know. All right. So this is what's been going on the last 6 months. I've been working diligently on this. Go check out the website, trudgingtogether.org. No, it's not exciting, but it's, but it works and it'll get better. And there again, I got people that'll work on our website too. They're called my kids. I did the website though. That was me and ChatGPT telling me exactly what to do. Even right down to there's buttons. Those I had to make them rounded and not cornered. So even right down to that, the colors, where they are placed, what color, the background, the verbiage, how does it scroll? Are you having to click too many buttons to get to where you need to be? I'm not kidding. People have to click more than 2 buttons. They ain't booking shit. They're just lazy. So so there's some appeasement and things like that in there. All these little nuances that there's no way I'm going to be able to get done by myself. So that's where the Trudge Mentor peer recovery, and that's like the skinny of it. But I was able to tell you clearly on what it was, and that's what I was doing. I'm like, okay, I need to go online and find out and explain this and see if I'm either confusing the fuck out of people or if they're understanding it. And it sounds like people are understanding it. So awesome sauce, man. Good stuff. So, all right. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I really do appreciate everything everybody does. Even if it's just listening. Thank you for sharing. I mean, my Facebook for me is blowing up, which means I have 5 comments. We've got to get that increased, unfortunately. But I do know this: social media isn't the way to get clients. That's not how it's done. We have got to be better than that. It might be one way, okay? But we also have to remember that God will send us his people as he needs us. There's that factor too. So don't forget that God is involved in this. And that in and of itself could be pretty exciting. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. I really do. All right. Peace out and have a day.